I grew up in a blue collar town on the edge of Appalachia listening to country music. That's all I heard in my world. My family, that's all we listened to. And I think those songs really mess with me. Hmm. I was talking to a friend this morning about grief and acceptance of grief, and that's so hard for me. It's really hard for me to imagine moving beyond that. I know we all have to do it, and I think I have to a degree, but those old songs, I finally realized it's those old songs. They got me messed up. um, he stopped loving her today, George Jones. I won't spoil it for you in case you've never heard it, but it's a heartbreaker. And it's the number one of all time, number one country music song. And there's a lot of them like that. They glamorized gloom, grief, sadness, drinking, running around. Anyway, yeah, if you know, especially old country music, that's what it was all about. And that song, it it kind of makes it just glamorizes the whole concept of when you lose someone, you spend the rest of your life in the bottom of a beer bottle, uh, gloomy, distraught, just misery, despair, um, agony. You just spend your life there. And I grew up with these songs, and I think they really got inside my head because, and this is kind of true, I feel almost guilty if I move on. I feel like, to me, in my head, I'm thinking that means I don't love my husband anymore, and I'm just done. And I was telling her this morning, I worry about what other people think. That if I move on, they're going to think, oh, she didn't even care. She never loved him in the first place. If she did, she wouldn't be moving on, because those old country songs, you don't get over people. You don't recover. You don't move on with your life. You don't build a new life. You just drown your sorrows. And I I was telling her that I I don't want people to think that I've gotten over him. Well, then I realized it's not so much I care about what other people think, it's what I think. And it is so deep entrenched in my head that if I move on, if I get past the this intense grief and wanting to move on and acceptance, then I've not fulfilled what all those old country songs, how they told me that you were supposed to respond to grief just in misery and agony forever. That's just what you were supposed to do. And I almost see it as a competition. I think I might have mentioned this before, and I apologize. But it's almost like if I moved on in my life after 5 years, and another woman moved on after 10 years, and another woman never moved on, she wins because she never recovered, never moved on, never got over it, never built her life again. She wins. She wins the contest. That's how I see it in my head. I know it's twisted. You can go ahead and comment below. Tell me, Teresa, you are messed up. George Jones played you. Oh, he did. He ruined you, girl. Yeah, you're just messed up by George Jones telling you, singing that sad old song, he stopped loving her today. I recommend that you, if you don't know the song, never heard it, ignore the twang, ignore if you can't stand that sound, whatever. Uh, anyway, just ignore that. Listen to that song. There's a lot of reaction videos on YouTube about He Stopped Loving Her Today, of people who've never heard the song and they hear it and then their reaction to it. And it's great. It's fun to watch those reaction videos. But anyway, um, So I recommend you do a search for that. But that's kind of how I feel as like the one who suffers the hardest, the longest. She's the most miserable. She's just deep, deep down in her grief, cannot claw her way up to the sunlight. She wins. She has proven she loves her husband more than you loved yours. If you moved on after 5 years, after 3 years, after a year and a half, she beat you because she never moved on. She was miserable till the day she died. And I know that's not right, but it's in here. And I started thinking, I was outside walking my dog, and I was thinking about the conversation I have with my friend, and it's like, that's what it is. It's all those old songs that put that in my mind. Do you have any preconceived notions about grief, loss, heartache? Did you grow up listening to George Jones or anybody else? Whoever else, I can't remember. Tammy Wynette, I think of her because she was married to George Jones, at least for a while. Anyway, did you grow up Loretta Lynn, Conway Twitty? Yeah, I knew them all. And I still know those songs. If you hum a few bars, I'll know the song. But anyway, did you grow up with some kind of a twisted view of grief and loss that has kind of affected you? And well, I guarantee that you did. Somehow, however you grew up, in anything, the way that we grow up and those things that are planted in us when we're really young, experiences that we face with family, just what we surround ourselves with, that affects us so much more than what we realize. Here I am, 60 years old, and it just hit me today. George Jones, he's the problem that I listened to when I was probably 5. I remember every morning my dad, he worked construction and he got up super early. He'd be up like 4 or 5 o'clock, and we slept upstairs. Remember the big vents in the old houses, the big grates, and you could look down and you could see into the kitchen or whatever below you. Those songs would be piped up through our bedroom, those vents into the bedroom. And I woke up to that almost every weekday morning, those kind of songs. And it's finally occurred to me today why I'm so messed up. It's that old country music. So, what did it for you? What got you just put different thoughts in your head, not just about grief, but marriage, relationships, kids, money, whatever it was? What did you do in your youth, or what were you exposed to that affected you? Anyway, it just occurred to me today. Here I am, 60 years old, going into my 4th year without my husband, and it finally sank in why I'm such a wreck. I don't know if that'll help knowing what it was, but anyway, I guess that's a place to start. Have a great weekend. Let me know what you think did it for you. And did George Jones influence you as much as he did me? Enjoy the rest of your weekend.